Good evening and welcome to the news tonight, your one stop for the day's top stories. I'm Tracy Shilshi and here are the headlines. Celebrations and protests mark the first anniversary of demonetization. Government observes the day as Anti-Black Money Day. Congress and other opposition parties target the note ban decision. Pollution levels spike further in North India. A blanket of smog covers the national capital region and adjoining states of Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh for the third day. Centre Special Representative Dineshwar Sharma meets political leaders in Kashmir, says he is hopeful of a political solution after talks with former Chief Minister Omar Abdullah and CPM leader M.Y. Tariq Amin. And Mary Kom wins the 5th Asian Boxing Championship gold medal, beats South Korea's Kim Hyang-mi in the summit clash in a unanimous 5-0 verdict in the 48-kilogram category. On the first anniversary of demonetization, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday bowed to the people of the country for steadfastly supporting the government's move. The Prime Minister's office also posted a 7-minute video underlining the benefits of the move. The BJP also held rallies across the country celebrating the day as Anti-Black Money Day.
Leading the government's narrative on demonetization, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday released a 7-minute video underlining the benefits of the move brought in a year ago. In a series of tweets, the Prime Minister said 125 crore Indians had fought a decisive battle and won.
आज एक संदेश तो स्पष्ट हो गया कि बड़े पैमाने में काला धन रखना या काले धन के माध्यम से साधन इकट्ठे करना, it is no longer a safe proposition.
Thereafter, the Prime Minister's office gave detailed information on the benefits of demonetization. It said anonymous property worth 1,626 crores was caught during this period. Undisclosed income of 29,213 million was also detected. A total amount of 3.68 lakh crore rupees deposited in 23 lakh bank accounts is also under investigation. 17.73 lakh fictitious bank accounts have also been identified, and the PMO has also called for public suggestions on the Namo app to deal with corruption.
Almost the entire population of this country supported the measure. Even those who were standing in the queues and braving the sun and braving all the difficulties, when asked repeatedly by camera queues, etc., last year, said that they supported the demonetization simply because I think a very large majority of Indians are honest, hard-working people who hate to see those who are corrupt and earning illegal income.
In addition to this, the government said fake notes and the drugs business had also got a big jolt. Action taken against shell companies has been described as a surgical strike, with 2.24 lakh companies being shut down. The number of new taxpayers has also gone up by over 26%. Prices of real estate also dropped sharply. The video says demonetization also helped crack down on terrorism and Naxalism.
रियल एस्टेट क्षेत्र ये ब्लैक मनी को पार्किंग करने का टूल बना गया था। अब कोई कर नहीं पाता क्योंकि इतने बड़े पकड़ में सब लोग आगे हैं, तो उसी के कारण आज इस क्षेत्र में जो ये काम करते थे उनके मन में नाराजी है।
यूपीआई की जो ट्रांजैक्शन है वो अप्रैल के माह में 3.8 मिलियन थी और अक्टूबर के माह में 77 मिलियन तक पहुंची हैं भीम ऐप और एक और कंपनी के योगदान से।
BJP is also celebrating the day as Anti-Black Money Day. Several rallies were organized across the country and people were given information about the benefits of the move. A signature campaign in support of the Prime Minister's commitment against black money and corruption was also launched. Panchanand Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the first anniversary of demonetization was marked by celebrations, as you saw there, but also protests. While the government observed the day as Anti-Black Money Day, the Congress and other opposition parties observed it as a black day against demonetization.
It was the government's Anti-Black Money Day versus the opposition's Black Day as Congress members took to the streets on Wednesday. Congress leaders raised slogans while displaying notes as a mark of protest against demonetization. They also wore black badges and termed demonetization as a tragedy that led to economic slowdown and unemployment.
नोटबंदी की पहली बरसी पर लुटेरे लूट का उत्सव मना रहे हैं और आम देशवासी रोजगार और रोटी खोने का अफसोस।
Left parties, including the CPIM and the CPI and others, also took to the streets to protest against demonetization. The left leaders hit out at the government, saying it had set 2 records, making people lose their lives in queues and helping hoarders change black money into white.
20 लाख मजदूर बेरोजगार हुए हैं, सैकड़ों लोग मारे गए। सरकार क्या उनके बारे में कुछ सोच रही है? पूरा इकोनॉमी चौपट हुआ है, 2% इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ रेट गिरा है और फिर भी ये जश्न मना रहे।
The government, however, slammed the opposition and stressed that it had a strong resolve against black money and shadow economy.
So he took this bold step. Now 95-98% of the people of this country are supporting this. Congress has to do a ceremonial role of opposing it. And the so-called opposition, Aap Party, Laluji, I was seeing the TV, they have no face to. Can Laluji say that, what face he has to say that when he's deeply involved in this black money business?
On this day last year, Prime Minister Modi had announced demonetization in a televised address. The total value of invalidated 500 and 1,000 rupee notes at the time of demonetization was 15.44 lakh crore rupees, or around 86% of the currency in circulation. 99% of the demonetized currency found its way back to the banking system. Only a little over 16,000 crore rupees of the 15.44 lakh crore rupees was not returned. With inputs from Mohammad Fateh Tipu, Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Over to news that's become a major cause of concern for those residing in the National Capital Region. The toxic haze enveloping Delhi thickened further on Wednesday, leading to near zero visibility at many places. The air quality index had a score of 487 on a scale of 500, indicating severe levels of pollution. Major city hospitals also witnessed a surge in the number of patients complaining of respiratory problems.
Delhi's pollution levels spiked further on Wednesday. A choking blanket of smoke continued to cover the National Capital Region, as well as the adjoining states of Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh. With additional pollutants pouring in from surrounding areas and no ground wind to disperse the existing particulate matter, the condition is likely to worsen further. The toxic haze has left people facing severe health hazards.
ये सांस लेने में दिक्कत आती है, बहुत दिक्कत है। घर से निकलते ही समझ लो ये निकाल दिया है, इसके बगैर समझ लो कि चला नहीं जाता। इतना फॉग से इतना वो हो रहा है कि बहुत परेशानी हो रही है।
It's like a heavy rain. There is a rain of particulate matter which is occurring in the society in NCR region. Whenever there is heavy rain, you stay indoor. It is allowed. Similarly, there is a rain of particulate matter, stay indoor.
जो लोग high levels of air pollution के एरिया में जी रहे हैं, वो ऐसे ही हैं जो स्मोक कर रहे हैं. तो as smoking, high cholesterol, high blood pressure is a risk for heart attack, so is high levels of air pollution. And therefore, all of us who are living here are adding one more risk factor to our other risk factors for heart problem in later life. तो आई थिंक इसीलिए हम कहते हैं कि ये एक मेडिकल इमरजेंसी है जिसका शॉर्ट टर्म लॉन्ग टर्म इफेक्ट है और जिसका असर ह्यूमन हेल्थ और मोर्टेलिटी पे डायरेक्ट है.
The smog-like conditions also pulled the mercury down to the season's coldest at 14 degrees Celsius, more than 2 degrees lower than Tuesday's 16.1 degrees Celsius. Visibility was also hampered, affecting air and rail operations. The Delhi government has shut down all schools till Sunday and released health advisories for high-risk groups, which mainly include children and the elderly. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has also sought a meeting with his counterparts in Punjab and Haryana to discuss ways to tackle the alarming air pollution levels in Delhi.
पूरे साल सरकार कुछ नहीं करती और अब हाय तौबा हो रही है क्योंकि प्रदूषण बढ़ गया है और आज खतरे से ऊपर पहुंच गया है. मुझे लगता है आपको सरकारों की जवाबदेही मांगनी बहुत जरूरी है.
The Environment Pollution Control Authority has also asked governments of the affected states to prepare for road rationing if pollution levels touch the emergency threshold. With Leena Sharma, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And now let's get you all the election-related news and verdict 2017. 68 constituencies in Himachal Pradesh will go to polls on Thursday. Over 50 lakh voters will exercise their franchise at over 7,500 polling stations. Enough security and logistical arrangements have been made for smooth, free and fair polling.
This is a polling station in the Kusumte area of Shimla that has about 900 voters. To ensure transparency, the poll officials have been given training in operation of VVPAT machines. This will be the first time these machines will be used throughout the state.
हमें सामान दिया गया था तो हमने चेक करके लिए बाकायदा इन्होंने हमें जो सेक्टर ऑफिसर है हमारे उनके साथ इंजीनियर्स आते हैं तो सुबह जो भी जब बूथ सेटअप हमने किया तो वो चेक करके गए थे सारे ईवीएम चेक करके गए थे वीवीपैट चेक करके गए थे कोई इस तरह की कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
This time there is adequate staff and security personnel manning each polling booth. Keeping in mind connectivity issues, arrangements have also been made to help voters reach polling stations. There are over 50 lakh voters in Himachal Pradesh. Kangra district has the highest of a little over 96,000 voters. The Lahaul and Spiti Assembly constituency has the lowest at 23,231. These voters will cast their ballot at 7,525 polling booths.
So Himachal is all set for polling on November 9. The highest polling station is situated at 15,000 feet and the lowest at 384 feet. And the lowest number of voters at one polling booth is 18. Now it is up to the people who come and vote and find their own choice of government. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person D.K. Pandey and Sudhanshu in Shimla.
In other news, the Centre's Special Representative for Jammu and Kashmir, Dineshwar Sharma, on Wednesday said that he will try to meet separatist leaders as part of the government's efforts to resolve issues facing the state through a sustained dialogue. On his engagement so far, Sharma said that his meetings had gone well. Dineshwar Sharma also called on former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah at his residence in Srinagar to discuss the situation. They also discussed the steps that can be taken to make the most of the visit. Dineshwar Sharma, who is on a 5-day visit of the state, also met with CPM leader M.Y. Tarigami, who represents Kulgam constituency in the assembly. On Thursday, Dineshwar Sharma will travel to Jammu, where he is scheduled to meet State Governor N.N. Vora.
मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि अपने बातचीत के दायरे को बढ़ाने के लिए जो मैंने उनके सामने कुछ तजवीज़ रखे वो दिनेश्वर शर्मा साहब उन पे अमल करेंगे क्योंकि हम सब चाहते हैं कि बातचीत के जरिए ये जो मसला है ये हल हो जाए.
कहनी रही सरकारों की उनके नुमाइंदों की उसके मुताबिक अमल नहीं हुआ. इस वजह से लोगों का एतबार नहीं है इस कदम पर भी. गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को ऐसे कदम उठाने चाहिए संजीदगी के साथ जिससे माहौल बेहतर बने.
Here's a look at what else made news across the country today in Nationwide. The CBI detained a Class 11 student of Ryan International School in Gurugram in connection with the September 8th murder of a Class 3 student. CBI sources said that the senior student was seen with a knife on the school campus the day the 7-year-old was killed with his throat slit in a school bathroom. The detained student will now be produced before the Juvenile Justice Board, where the court is expected to decide whether he is to be treated as a major or a minor as per the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015. A Delhi court today initiated the process to declare businessman Vijay Mallya as a proclaimed offender for allegedly evading summons in a FERA violation case. It has now given him the last opportunity to appear before the court by the 18th of December. Chief Metropolitan Magistrate Deepak Sherawat directed the Enforcement Directorate to take appropriate steps while initiating the process. India successfully test-fired its indigenous Nirbhaya cruise missile for the first time after 4 failed missions. The Defence Research and Development Organisation, or the DRDO, fired the missile from the Integrated Test Range in Chandipur, Odisha. The missile cruised for a duration of 50 minutes, achieving the range of 647 kilometers, even though it is designed for a 1,000-kilometer range. A quick break here. Up next, we'll get you the top international and sports stories.
12 months to demonetization. Do you see it as a big bang, or do you see it as a big thud?
Moving towards lesser corrupt or a more transparent society is a big objective and achievement.
Former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, he said that demonetization is almost like an organized loot and plunder, and he also predicted that GDP will be down by 2%, which is also a fact.
We do see strong signs of investments. The year would not end with something around 7% GDP growth.
1.5 million jobs which have been lost. So, do you see this as a fallout of demonetization?
There is no data on jobs in the country at this point in time, which is quite on which one can rely on.
Watch to the point with the Director General of Confederation of Indian Industry, Chandrajit Banerjee, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. The top international story on the news tonight is that US President Trump reached China on Wednesday, the third stop in his 5-nation Asia tour. Trump's Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping gave a lavish welcome in what has been called a state visit plus. His arrival came just hours after his speech in the South Korean capital Seoul, in which he warned North Korea to not underestimate the US. Here's a detailed report. US President Donald Trump on Wednesday issued a direct and personal warning to North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, declaring that continued nuclear provocation could result in the nation's obliteration. Trump also warned that the US is prepared to use the full range of its military power if needed to defend itself and its allies.
Today I hope I speak not only for our countries, but for all civilized nations. When I say to the North, do not underestimate us and do not try us. We will defend our common security, our shared prosperity, and our sacred liberty.
North Korea's nuclear weapons program has sparked international alarm, with Pyongyang carrying out its biggest nuclear test yet in September. Singling out Russia and China, Trump urged all responsible nations to isolate the North and fully implement UN sanctions, downgrade diplomatic ties, and sever trade and technology ties.
All responsible nations must join forces to isolate the brutal regime of North Korea, to deny it, and any form of it, you cannot support, you cannot supply, you cannot accept. We call on every nation, including China and Russia, to fully implement UN Security Council resolutions, downgrade diplomatic relations with the regime, and sever all ties of trade and technology.
Just hours after the speech, Trump landed in Beijing on a 3-day trip. It is Trump's first visit to China since he assumed the presidency and is the first foreign leader to have an official dinner in the Forbidden City since the founding of the People's Republic in 1949. Unlike his trips to Japan and South Korea, which were far more policy-focused, Trump's first hours in China were spent enjoying the country's culture and history. In the next 2 days, during his meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping and other Chinese leaders, he is expected to bring up the North Korea issue and discuss bilateral ties. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. And here are some updates from across the world in Global Buzz. Ravindra Bhalla became the first ever Sikh mayor of New Jersey's Hoboken City after a stiff competition that turned ugly after he was labelled a terrorist. He is the first Sikh to hold elected office in New Jersey in the US. Bhalla was endorsed by current mayor Dawn Zimmer, who announced that he will not run for the re-election. Bhalla is on the city council for more than 7 years and claimed the victory at Moran's Pub on Garden Street. Danica Rome became the first transgender person elected to a US state legislature, unseating one of Virginia's longest-serving and most socially conservative lawmakers. The Democrats' Danica Rome beat the Republican Bob Marshall. The contest was of one of dozens of state legislative races in which Democrats pushed to gain ground in the Republican majority General Assembly. An accountability court in Islamabad rejected an application filed by ousted Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif to club together the 3 references filed by the National Accountability Bureau against him and his family members. The court reserved its ruling on Sharif's application on Tuesday after hearing arguments from both the Defence Counsel and the NAB prosecution. Afghanistan President Ashraf Ghani condemned the killing of Pakistan's consulate staff member Rana Nair Iqbal in Jalalabad on Monday and ordered law enforcement agencies to investigate the incident. According to a statement issued by the presidential palace, Ghani asked the security institutions to find out the group responsible for the attack. A strike called across Catalonia by pro-independence activists to protest the jailing of sacked regional politicians saw roads being blocked, which caused huge tailbacks into Barcelona, while some public transport ran minimum services. The strike was called by the Catalan Pro-Independence Union, CSC, whose leaders were imprisoned last month on sedition charges. The top sports story, Mary Kom won her 5th Asian Boxing Championship gold medal by defeating Korea's Kim Hyang-mi in the summit clash on Wednesday at Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. The 5-time world champion and Olympic bronze medalist won in a unanimous 5-0 verdict, winning her first gold in the 48-kilogram category. The 35-year-old, who is also a former Olympic bronze medalist, returned to her preferred weight category after 5 years of competing in the 51-kilogram category, which was made an Olympic one in 2012. This is also Mary Kom's first international gold medal since the 2014 Asian Games and her first medal in more than a year. However, World Championship silver medalist Sonia Lathar had to be content with a runner-up finish for the second time at this event. India's total medal tally was 7, including a gold, a silver and 5 bronze medals. And there's more good news for India in cricket as well. Here's Sports Beat. India defeated New Zealand in the 3rd and final T20 match to clinch the series 2. The men in blue beat the Kiwis by 6 runs at Thiruvananthapuram. Chasing a target of 68 runs set by India, the Kiwis managed to put up 61 runs for the loss of 6 wickets after the end of their 8 overs. For India, Jasprit Bumrah took 2 wickets, while in batting, Manish Pandey top scored with 17 runs. Spain's goalkeeper Iker Casillas won the 2017 International Golden Foot Soccer Award in Monaco. Casillas, who plays for Portuguese club Porto, beat Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Thiago Silva and Manuel Neuer to grab the award. The award recognizes the best active footballer of the year, aged 28 and over, and is based on votes by media and members of the public. Casillas has also won 5 league titles and 3 Champions Leagues while at Real Madrid. Britain's Andy Murray said that he will only return to competitive tennis when he is 100% ready. Murray said this ahead of a match against Roger Federer in aid of his Andy Murray Life charity in Glasgow. The Scot has not taken part in any tournament since losing to Sam Querrey at Wimbledon after struggling with a hip injury throughout the tournament. That's it on the news tonight from the entire team here. Good night.